Alright, so welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be restoring this Tyco Canadian Pacific F unit that I got for free in that lot from the last video. So, let's get into it. Alright, so let's get to work on it. First thing I'm going to go into is actually just going into this back truck here, just so that we can get that all cleaned up first, since it should be simpler. We can hopefully get kind of an idea of what condition the engine's in from the back truck, possibly. So it may tell us how bad what we're getting into really is. I think I'm going to also repaint these truck covers later. So let's take them off. There's a lot of corrosion in here. That might be a problem. Let me figure out how to get this thing out. Put it in. Gonna snap that out. So yeah, got this truck out. I'm gonna remove it from here. And I'm gonna see if some rubbing alcohol and Q-tips can get this off, or I need to use some sandpaper possibly to get some of this stuff off. Get this ready. I don't know why I didn't have the alcohol here from the beginning. Looks like the alcohol can remove most of these spots that are on here, it seems. But they are pretty dirty. So I'm going to start with cleaning up these wheelbases here. So that seems good. Let's go on to the other side. This one has more of those weird stains, so I have no clue what these stains are, but they're washing off with some rubbing alcohol, so I think that's a good sign. So whatever this weird substance is, just got stuck on this engine. Seems as if this little cleaning has got sides all cleaned up. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So let's actually begin getting this thing some oil on. Use the Labelle 107 now. Let me get this thing open. Pop this on. Let's lubricate these little bearings up first. There's that one. Don't know why I'm lubricating the middle one. Nothing goes there. And the last one. Let's clean these wheel sets off first. I almost forgot to do that. What I did also get was I did get a fiberglass pencil, so that should help with some of these restorations. That wheel set much cleaner. It isn't perfect, but a lot of this dirt will likely wear off with just running the engine. Once it gets going, it's oxidation and such from the old age of this thing likely sitting around for quite some time. It'll probably wear off in a little bit. So let's put this one back on and put everything in that truck back together. And we'll go on to the front motor block, which appears to be in the exact same condition. So, let me get these screws on. I think someone might have been in one of the trucks because they have different types of screws. The black one has the flathead screws, and then the front one has Phillips screws, so don't know why, it's just a weird thing that this one seems to have. So, let's get this one back in. Then let's put this clip back in the truck. Get that one put in there. This one is being a little weird. Alright, yep, this one's being a lot trickier. I'm gonna use this to try and get this thing to go into place. There we go. That took some strength to get in. But there's that trick done. Let's go onto this front motor block. Come on out. There. Now what we've got to do is try and wiggle that one out without breaking the wires in here. Remove this weird clip. Don't know why they're all so weird. Yeah, this one might even be in worse condition. When I did test this, it was running a bit, but then it would occasionally seize up. So I think there might be some stuff caught in this gearbox that we need to get cleaned out. Because this is a really nasty looking model. So what I think I'll go with first is actually trying to clean out the motor block itself and get all the gears off. I'm just going to throw the gears in rubbing alcohol because they're really dirty and covered in this weird stuff. So, since it's so nasty, we're going to just start by cleaning off this motor block first of all. Trying to get some of this weird stuff off of it, just so that we can get this thing to run better. So, I think we've got most of this one pretty cleaned up. There wasn't actually much hair or anything in here, just a lot of the weird stuff. Let me try and get this stuff off the other side, where the plate is. Seems a little more stuck on. I'm gonna just work on cleaning some of the stuff off. Then I'll go into the bearings, because those are pretty dirty. As I can see, it's picking up a lot of rubbing alcohol. And then, gotta screw this one in. Not screw it, and clean it off. Now I'm gonna work on this plate here. Let me just start taking this thing apart, because I think there could be issues with the motor. I'm going to use the lid for the for this so that we can make sure we don't lose the parts for this. How is this going to look? It doesn't actually look too bad in here, I'd say. It's a little dirty, but with this, we can actually begin to clean this off much easier now. To bring it back to almost perfect. Just cleaning this will help a lot. So we've got one pulled on, almost done with the second one now. And then let's do this third one here, and then we should be done. This one's a little dirtier than all the other ones. So yeah, that's pretty clean. I'm going to work on putting these plates in off camera because they're usually really difficult, so I'll be back once that's in. It took some time, but I got the motor put back together. It was just overall a little pesky, so now we've got to actually start cleaning up the motor block again, just to get in these little crevices here, because some of the stuff is still remaining on here. I just want to get as much of it off as possible. So I think it's pretty good now, so we should start moving on to doing the gears. So here's the first one. Should probably get something to dry the gears off with. Yeah, this video is a little bit unprepared. I can get this gear out of here. Let's get the 102 out. Find where my connection for that is, which is right here, I believe. Missing this little part. Stick this one on. We can put on some 107 and 102 for the gear. Right here. Spread some 102 on the top of it. Just around the gears and everything. So that one's good. Let's go on to the next gear, which is the smaller one here. Let's give that one a little bit of a cleaning. Right over here. Let's just wash it off in here a little bit, but actually get it all clean. Not any more dirt or anything left on this one. Put on the pivot gear. Now we'll put some 102 around the gear. Not a lot, just enough to oil it. And finally we'll go on to the larger gear. This one seems a little bit tight in here. So I'm going to free it up a little bit. I'm just trying to wiggle it around in here a little bit, loosen it up. Yep, now onto the final gear, which is the biggest one. Then we'll be cleaning off these wheels. I know this video's dragged on a while, but I'm trying to get this engine entirely ready to run. So that one seems pretty good. I'm gonna put the 107 down here. What I can do now is plop this little gear right in here. We have to make sure to put it in the right way so it can gain traction with the other gears. And I can give it some 107 on top here a little bit, which I'll do. Put some 102 around the edges of it, just so that anything it comes in contact with can be all lubricated up. Then we'll go on to cleaning off these little wheel sets. These ones aren't super dirty, so we can still use them to get all cleaned off. And we don't need to sit them in the alcohol for a while. They can just get cleaned off pretty easily. This one here goes in the middle. Then we've got these other wheel sets here. This is the first one. It's actually really going to be of use in the engine. The wheels, again, are pretty dirty, but hopefully they can clean up a little more with running because it's more of oxidation. Because there is some dirt coming off, but there is some oxidation on it that's staying behind. So we'll put this one back in here. And then we've got the final one to do here. And then we can go putting everything back together and giving this engine a little test run. Put this one in now. Oil up a little bit of these gears here. Just gonna put a little foam around the bottom there. 102. And put some 107 on the bearings. Then we can put on this partially destroyed truck cover. Screw that back on. Wherever I put my screwdriver. The workbench is becoming a little bit of a mess now. There's one. Here comes the next screw. And we've got the final screw to put in here. Then once we put this one in, we can go test this unit. Pop the truck back into the truck cover. And then let's put this one all back in here, get it all situated. Make sure the light is in an okay position here. Then once we get this whole thing all clipped in, we'll see if this engine can become a decent runner. So well, let's go take this engine all over to the track and test it. Alright, so after a lot of work, let's give it a test run. Let's give it some power. Seems like it wants to go. And it appears to run pretty well, actually. Compared to what it ran like before this, when I tested it before, how it made all sorts of loud noises and had seized up occasionally. Now it's running great and freely. So, thanks for watching. If you want to see another video with a CPF unit, click on the screen around now.